It's been nearly a decade since Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 vanished into thin air, leaving the world with one of the greatest aviation mysteries of all time. But as the investigation into the disappearance continues, some surprising discoveries have emerged that shed light on what may have happened to the ill-fated aircraft. Hello, and welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about the top discoveries for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. So, let's get started. Number 7. The flight simulator. One of the most interesting pieces of evidence in the investigation of the Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappearance was discovered in the pilot's home. The home flight simulator belonged to Captain Zaharie Ahmad Shah. This finding raised questions about his potential involvement in the airplane's disappearance. The simulation is speculated to be created by the pilot himself and contained data of a plotted course that ended in the southern Indian Ocean, which is where the aircraft is believed to have crashed. The simulations were dated from several months prior to the airplane's disappearance, leading to speculation that Captain Shah may have premeditated the crash. However, it's important to note that the presence of the flight simulations does not necessarily prove that Captain Shah was responsible for the aircraft's disappearance. It's possible that he was simply using the simulator for practice. Despite this, the discovery of this data remains a curious piece of the puzzle that is this investigation. It's just another example of evidence that's been analyzed and scrutinized by authorities in their search for answers. Number 6. 2 passengers with stolen passports boarded the plane. The use of stolen passports by the 2 Iranian men on board flight MH370 served as a wake-up call for governments and airlines around the world. The incident underscored the potential for individuals to use fake or stolen identification in order to board a commercial aircraft and to carry out nefarious activities. This highlighted the gaps in the international system for tracking lost and stolen passports. In response, Interpol launched a new initiative aimed at enhancing the use of advanced technology to detect fraudulent passports and better share information across borders. The tragic disappearance of flight MH370, however, remains an unsolved mystery. Despite years of search efforts and the recovery of some debris from the airplane, the fate of the 239 people on board remains unknown. The families of the victims continue to seek answers, and the aviation industry has implemented new safety measures to prevent a similar tragedy from occurring in the future. The incident has also prompted a renewed focus on improving communication and coordination among aviation authorities and governments worldwide to ensure greater safety and security for air travelers. Number 5. Flap track fairing segment. A significant discovery in 2016 was made by a South African teenager, Liam Lauder, while he was on holiday in Mozambique. He stumbled upon a 1-meter-long piece of metal that he had brought back home as a souvenir. Little did he know, this metal fragment turned out to be a crucial piece of evidence in the investigation of the missing flight. The metal fragment is known as a flap track fairing segment, which is a part of the aircraft's wing system. This particular piece was the first to be examined by investigators from the Australian Transport Safety Bureau in Canberra, who confirmed that it was almost certainly from MH370. The discovery of the flap track fairing segment has raised new questions and provided further clues in the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of MH370. It demonstrates how even the smallest pieces of evidence can be crucial in solving such a complex and perplexing mystery. The investigation into the flap track fairing segment and its role in the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 continues to this day, providing a glimmer of hope that one day the truth behind this tragedy will be uncovered. Number 4. Engine cowling segment. One of the most significant pieces of evidence discovered in the search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was a 70 cm by 70 cm segment of the 777 engine cowling found in South Africa. The segment, labeled as Part 3, was identified by the distinctive Rolls-Royce stenciling, which was the adapted style used by Malaysia Airlines. While it was confirmed to be from the missing airplane, investigators were unable to determine which engine it belonged to. This engine cowling segment was discovered by a South African archaeologist named Niels Kruger, who found it washed up on the shore in Mossel Bay. Kruger handed it over to the South African Civil Aviation Authority, who then sent it to Canberra for further analysis by experts from the Australian Transport Safety Bureau. The discovery of this engine cowling segment has played a crucial role in the investigation into the disappearance of MH370. However, the mystery of what happened to that flight remains unsolved, and the search for answers continues. Number 3. The horizontal stabilizer panel segment. In the ongoing investigation of the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, debris has been identified, and it could be a significant clue in unraveling the mystery. The debris was discovered in 2016 on a Mozambique beach by an American lawyer named Blain Gibson. This piece has been confirmed by investigators in Canberra as being the horizontal stabilizer panel segment from the right-hand tail section of a Boeing 777. One of the most striking features of the debris is the no-step stenciling on it, which experts have confirmed matches that used by Malaysia Airlines. Additionally, a single fastener still attached to the debris has been identified as matching those used by the airline, providing further evidence of its connection to the missing aircraft. This discovery is yet another significant development into the investigation, as it provides more concrete evidence of the location of the aircraft. The fact that this debris has been found on a beach in Mozambique indicates that the crash site lies on the seabed in the vast Indian Ocean. The families of the passengers and working crew of MH370 have been waiting for answers for almost a decade, and each piece of evidence brings renewed hope for closure. As the investigation continues, we can only hope that the discoveries made will eventually lead to a full understanding of what happened to the flight and the people on board. Number 2. Main cabin interior panel. A significant piece of evidence in the mysterious disappearance of MH370 was discovered by a couple vacationing on Rodriguez Island east of Mauritius. The fragment, known as Part 4, is believed to be a panel segment from the main cabin associated with the door R1 closet and is the only interior part of the aircraft found to date. Experts were able to identify the piece as belonging to a Boeing 777, the same type of airplane as the missing flight, and determined that the laminate was used exclusively by Malaysia Airlines. While the search for the remainder of the wreckage continues, the discovery of this fragment brings us another step closer for answers to the many questions surrounding the disappearance of the airplane and the fate of the passengers and the crew on board. Number 1. The aircraft's landing gear trunnion door. This discovery could be the most significant breakthrough to date, providing crucial insight into the final moments of the ill-fated flight. The investigation into the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 also uncovered evidence in the form of the aircraft's landing gear trunnion door, which may suggest that someone was in the cockpit when the aircraft crashed. The trunnion door, which is a small panel located on the underside of the airplane's fuselage, was found in Madagascar in 2017. Experts from the French Civil Aviation Safety Investigation Authority confirmed that it was a piece of a Boeing 777, the same type of aircraft as Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Upon closer inspection, it was suggested that the landing gear was open at the time of the crash. This brings speculation that foul play was involved, and someone with knowledge of the aircraft had criminal intentions. This added to the suspicion that the disappearance of the airplane was not due to a mechanical or technical failure. The new evidence suggests that the crash was intentional and that an active pilot was in the cockpit, trying to hide the evidence of the crash. According to reports, the landing gear was released in a manner that indicates a deliberate attempt to sink the aircraft as quickly as possible. Additionally, the high-speed impact designed to break up the aircraft also points to a clear intent to hide the evidence. The discovery of the trunnion door was a crucial piece of evidence in the investigation, and it has led to much speculation and debate about what may have happened to the airplane and its passengers. While the discovery of the trunnion door does not provide a definitive answer to the mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, it has added to the growing body of evidence that suggests the aircraft was crashed deliberately. The investigation is ongoing, and the search for answers continues to this day. The discovery of this remnant of the landing gear provides vital information to investigators as they attempt to piece together the events that led to the disappearance of the flight. It could offer a chance for closure for the families of the victims who've been waiting for answers. As the investigation continues, the world watches on, eager to discover the truth behind one of aviation's greatest mysteries. The vanishing of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 has left the world baffled for almost a decade. With no conclusive evidence, the fate of the aircraft and its passengers remains a mystery. However, as the families of the missing hold on to hope for closure, a renewed effort to uncover the truth is on the horizon, and the world is watching in anticipation of a breakthrough.